Hello, everybody. I don't know if anybody's joining me yet, but clock's running, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. For those that will watch this later, I am Dr. Joe Gilgour, president of Mineral Area College, and this is part of a series that we have called Pop-Up President, which is actually something we do typically on ground, where my office is randomly relocated around campus for a period of time where employees and students can come and talk to me and give ideas or share what they're going through or just chat and get to know each other. So we can't do that right now, of course. So this is an opportunity for us to still kind of have that to some extent. We typically don't do it every week, of course. It's usually just a couple of times a semester or maybe even once a month. But we've decided to do a little more of these Facebook Live Pop-Up Presidents events due to the COVID-19 virus and the impact it's having on Mineral Area College and your education. So I don't have a ton of updates for you because not much has changed since last time. Just a reminder, we are completely online for the summer. All of our classes have been moved to online. As of today, the date of the peak in Missouri has been updated to April 28th. And if you remember last week, just 1 week ago, it was April 19th. And so we're seeing an increase in that for some reason. So that is exactly just proves why I feel like we're making the right decision and sticking with online. Your health and safety are the most important things. Everything else at Mineral Area College, everything we offer, your classes, your education, that's all important, but your health and safety is more important than any of that. And so we went ahead and made that decision to go online for the summer just to make sure that the curve peaking on April 28th as of today and going down is dependent on people that are abiding by stay-at-home orders and social distancing and all of those instructions. And so if we were to jump right back into on-ground classes, we run the risk of kicking that curve off again and making it go up. And so we don't want to do that. As of this time, as of today, I have not been notified of any students or employees at Mineral Area College that have been diagnosed with COVID-19. Obviously, if you feel like, or if you have been diagnosed, if you've been tested and diagnosed, we would encourage you to let us know. We will not broadcast that you are the person who has been tested positive. However, we will be talking to classmates, employees, people that may have been around you when you were on campus, just to make sure. Probably little risk of that since we've been closed for so long if you're just now diagnosed. But we do encourage you to let us know that information. Again, we will keep it confidential as far as your name goes, but we do have an obligation to notify people who may have been put at risk, if any. You would obviously give us information about where you were and all that on campus, just so we would know. The pop-up presidency, again, like I said, it's today. We've been doing these every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, but moving forward, we're really going to do them as needed. So it won't be every Wednesday at 2 necessarily, but I want to make sure I have information to share with you when I do these, not just do them to hear myself talk or whatever. So you can always ask questions. Your questions can be posted on the MAC Facebook page, of course, anytime, whether there's a pop-up presidency or not. My Twitter account and the MAC Twitter account are both in the link. You can post on Twitter questions if you'd like. We will get back to you. Someone will answer your question through the Facebook page. But I also encourage you to go to our website and see updates on there, not only to the COVID-19 response, but also for any other information you need. Basically, everything you're going to ask a question about, for the most part, can be found on the website. And so we want to make sure that that you have that resource there. It's still available. And then any phone numbers you find on there are people now that are working from home that are available to answer your call and get information to you. So we're going to not have these pop-up presidencies after today, other than as needed. If something comes up where we feel like we need to get information to you through this mode of communication, we will try to get notice out 24 hours in advance if possible. But keep an eye on the MAC Facebook page, the MAC Twitter account for information on when those events might be. But again, please ask your questions. If you have them, ask them anytime through the Facebook page or by calling us and getting information. So the question, I didn't get a lot of questions in email, and that's part of the reason we're going to slow this down, because we're not getting as many questions now, but I know more questions will come. We have had a question in the past about commencement and whether we could reschedule commencement, something else we could do. And as we have told you before, we did cancel our in-person on-ground commencement. That was scheduled for May 9th. And if the peak of the coronavirus in Missouri is April 28th as of today, that puts May 9th still within that curve, and it just would not be safe for us to meet or even to push it back another week to May 16th. We just feel like getting 2,000 people packed in a gym is not a good idea during these times. So what we are thinking about doing is an opportunity to have a recorded commencement ceremony that we would broadcast, that you'd still celebrate our graduates. It wouldn't be as good as the real thing, of course, but your name would still be on there. You'd still be celebrated as a graduate, and we're working on that right now. So stay tuned and look for your email and social media for opportunities to participate in that by submitting pictures and videos and things, so we can use in that message as we get that done. But that is our intent right now. I'm sorry. I hate it. I really do. That commencement's not going to happen. I've only been president here less than a year, and I was really looking forward to my first commencement at Mineral Area College, just as I know all of you graduates were looking forward to this event, and your families, your friends, people coming to see you. I know it was a big deal, and I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry that this has to happen. But it's really, like I said, your health and safety are our biggest priorities. And, unfortunately, tough decisions like that had to be made. We also canceled all activities for the summer. So if you're a student at MAC or you had kids that attended College for Kids in the summer, we have canceled that event as we move on. Again, we just want to make sure it's completely safe and wait on the guidelines. And these events, College for Kids, commencement, these aren't events that can be thrown together overnight. They're not events that just involve, putting some chairs out on the gym floor. These events take months of work to get going. And so this is something that we're already behind if we were to try to throw these events together. And again, we wouldn't want to put anybody at risk for that. So just keep those things in mind. I'm sorry, again, I do apologize, but summer, we need to keep those events canceled and classes online for the summer. I do hope to be able to offer on-ground services in the summer if we can open up some of our offices and get some of our employees back to work, so that those who prefer a face-to-face interaction to get their services met can come into campus and do that. That is our goal right now. We are working from home, all of our employees, almost all of our employees, until May 16th, and then we're going to reevaluate closer to that date whether we need to extend that. But as of right now, the plan is to open on May 18th with at least limited staff being a part of it. I usually save the chat questions for last, but I did get a question about commencement, since I was just talking about from Bob Curtis about would a formal mid-July commencement be possible. Bob, I'm not going to say it's impossible timing-wise, but because we don't know the certainty of what's going to happen and where we're going to be in July, it's almost impossible to say for sure whether it would be a safe environment, and we do not want to risk the safety of people by committing to a July date, putting a bunch of work into it, and everybody getting ready and preparing to come, and then have to cancel it again. So this year is just going to look a little different, unfortunately. And I apologize for that. So moving on to some other questions, we've got a couple of questions about books. So one question is about book buybacks, so selling your books back from this semester. That is something we are working on. Your bookstore manager is working on an online service of where you can return your books and purchase books as well for the future. And that's something that a lot of colleges have anyway, even without a COVID-19 pandemic. And so that's something we're working on. This is actually give us an opportunity to develop that and have that service for you. So more information to come about that, and information will be communicated to students that are currently enrolled about how to return your books back at the end of the semester for the book buyback. But there is something coming on that. It's being worked on right now. The other question is about how to get books for the summer. Again, same answer as far as the online part goes. We hope that's available. If we are able to open for services at the end of May, then the campus store, the bookstore, will have maybe limited traffic to keep social distancing at a minimum, but we will be able to have book pickup here on campus should we be open at that time. And again, that is the intent. That is the intent of what we are doing to be open. So that was really all the questions I got. So going back to the chat Brianne asking about if you're not attending the graduation, our diplomas still being sent out without delay. Our diplomas are being sent out right on schedule as they would. Normally you would get those in June. And so you will still get those in the mail as normal. That wouldn't change before that. And so we are trying to work out a way of you to get your commencement regalia, your cap and gown, prior to our commencement, video commencement. So maybe you can send in pictures. It gives you a chance to take pictures and share those of you in your cap and gown. But we're trying to have a way to have maybe a pickup or something. We can get those to you in advance. Otherwise, they would be mailed out down the road. So if there's any other questions, I'm going to give you just another few seconds to go ahead and ask those questions. Thank you for those that have asked and everybody that's joined these sessions over the past few weeks. Just a reminder for those who are late joining, we are not going to continue the Pop-Up Presidency 2.0 unless it's needed. So we're not going to have the regularly scheduled sessions, but we will have as needed, we will present them. But we'll send out notice about those before they happen as much as we can, with the exception of urgent news that we need to get to you, and there'll be multiple ways of communicating that with you. But we do not plan on having these regularly scheduled Facebook Live events unless there is more information to update you on. As you can tell from this session, not a lot has changed since the last couple of updates, and so I really don't want to waste anybody's time on these and give you information you already know, especially when you can go back and watch them. We did have a question from Melody about how is this affecting upcoming LPN program in August. I'm hoping once August is here, August 4th, that we are back on ground and doing business as normal as possible. We do have to cancel a pinning ceremony for our nurses that was scheduled for July because of the same reason of the activities. But I'm hoping by August we are back in the full swing of things as far as getting back to normal, where the social distancing guidelines aren't recommended as much maybe, and they're lifted by our health officials. But I just think everybody needs to realize that we are keeping a close watch and close communication with our health officials, CDC, and the guidelines of that. We do not want to risk your health or your safety. And so we are taking the word of professionals in the health field to help guide us along in that. So we appreciate your patience, though, and all that. I do see a question from Katie about the criteria for the emergency student fund, and is it possible for the emergency fund to be direct deposit? Those are great questions, Katie. And the emergency fund, for those of you that don't know, is something was started recently. There's a link to it on our Facebook page as well as on our website. You can link there. Right now we're asking for donations. We're trying to build that fund. And as of today, there's a little over $3,000 in that fund. So we're really excited and so grateful for everyone who has donated to it. Please share that on Facebook. Get out there and share that post so that people get to see it. But that fund, the criteria is being developed right now. We're hoping to move quickly because we know there is a need to get that. I do not know about direct deposit. If you already have that signed up with the institution, I'm sure that's not a problem. But otherwise, it would be a physical check that would get, depending on the need, it could be a check to a service or a vendor or somebody that you're working with, such as a utility or provider or something. So there is there's a possibility of that, I want to say. I'm assuming we have that capability with everything else, that would be possible. But that information will come out, and how to apply for that student emergency fund. Obviously, $3,000 right now is a lot of money, but when you divide it up amongst all the students who need it, it won't go very far. And so there will be some guidelines and some limits on that, but we're really thankful to all the donors who've participated. That is just such great news that the community is coming together and helping with that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this now. We have no other comments coming in. Feel free to keep on commenting. People will get back to you and answer your questions. Either myself or someone on the MAC Facebook page will respond to you. But watch that Facebook page. There's videos there of admissions, financial aid, counseling services, all kinds of assistance for you during this time. MAC's still here, folks. We're still here. We're still available for you. It just may look a little different, but if you need something, do not hesitate to reach out, take advantage of those services, and participate in those things as much as possible, because we want you to be well and we want you to have a successful semester, even though we know it's been a little bit of a struggle for you, as it has for all of us. So thank you all for tuning in today, and stay well out there, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.